Good day, everyone. I'm John Paul Divanadera, and I'm here to discuss the implementation of DBSCAN to mall customer segmentation. For the table of contents, we have here first the introduction to DBSCAN, followed by DBSCAN process and data visualization. But first, let us discuss the introduction. So, what is DBSCAN, by the way? DBSCAN, or also known as Density-Based Spatial Clustering of Applications with Noise, is an unsupervised learning algorithm based on density. It identifies clusters of arbitrary shapes and outliers by computing nearest neighbor graphs. So, DBSCAN requires two parameters, the EPS and the mean points. So, EPS is the radius of specific neighborhoods, in that if the distance between 2 points is less than or equal to EPS, it will be considered its neighbors. Mean points is the minimum number of data points in a given neighborhood to form the clusters. So, these definitions will be used as we go along the discussion. Now, let's do the process. So first, we have to import NumPy, Pandas, Seaborn, Matplotlib, and sklearn. And then we will load the dataset using pandas read CSV function. Then we will display the first few rows of our dataset, which includes customers, age, gender, income, and spending score. So these features will be used to create various clusters later. And then we will also display the shape of our dataset. And so we are having 200 number of rows and 5 number of columns. Then we will select 3 columns, specifically age, annual income, and spending score, to form X-train data frame. And then we will fit X-train on the DBSCAN algorithm with EPS of 13 and minimum sample or points of 4. After that, we will create a DBSCAN dataset from X-train and create a cluster column using clustering labels. And to help us visualize the distribution of clusters, we will use value counts and convert it into data frame. So, as you can see, we have here 4 cluster and 1 outlier. The 0 cluster has the largest size with 137 rows, and 3 cluster has the least size, having 4 rows. Now, let's move on to the data visualization. So in this section, we will use the previous information and visualize the scatter plot. So there are 2 plots, the annual income versus spending score and the annual income versus the age. So as you can see in the first line, this identifies the outliers in the dataset. So in DBSCAN clustering, points that do not belong to any cluster are labeled as -1. So these points are considered outliers. Now, we will create a figure with 2 subplots side by side, each with a size of 12 by 5 inches. And then we will first plot the annual income versus the spending score, represented by axis 0, with annual income on the x-axis and spending score on the y-axis, followed by the plot with age versus spending score, represented by axis 1, with age on the x-axis, and spending score on the y-axis. So this is how it looks like once done, and as you can see, it consists of 4 clusters represented by the color apricot, red, blue, and light blue, and one outlier represented by black dots. So, the blue has the largest number of plots in the graph while the red has the least, and the visualization clearly shows how each customer is part of one of the four clusters, and we can use this information and assume that we can give high-end offers to customers with apricot clusters since they're the kind who has high annual income and high spending score, and cheaper offers and discounts to customers with light blue clusters since they are the opposite. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you all for listening.